Hello everybody, my name is Ivan Ethos, and welcome back to In a Nutshell. Here, we're talking about Mirage. Now, Mirage is, well, kind of an interesting warframe, and she has kind of a cool little quest behind her, too. So for people who don't know, Mirage is acquired as the quest, oh, I forgot the name of it. I'm sorry, I'll have to look it up in a minute here. But Mirage is acquired through a quest, all of her pieces are, and as well as her main blueprint. Now, she's a fantastically high damaging frame. She requires a little bit to get used to. So as you can, I'll give you kind of a showcase here that my frame has no mods to it. My weapon does have mods. I'm going to change the configuration so we don't have to worry about that. And my Axamati do not have any mods either. So these all are blank. So we're going to go down here. We're going to, of course, spawn our paused AI level 30 Lancers, and we'll showcase what her abilities do. Now, again, she's kind of a more aggressive frame, but her abilities themselves really don't do damage, besides her fourth. So her first ability, as we'll look here, is called Hall of Mirrors. She creates an entourage of doppelgangers to confuse and distract the enemies. Basically, her doppelgangers do the same attacks that she does, but at 20% damage. And of course, this is disclaimer. Mirage is max rank. It is Mirage Prime, but again, Primes only have a small benefit over the standard versions, and none of them in the form of ability damage. So they do 20% damage at maximum rank 3. The duration is 25 seconds, and she gets 4 doppelgangers. Now, as far as I remember, and I could be wrong, each rank of Hall of Mirrors gives you another doppelganger to play with, and increases the duration, but I don't know if they actually change the damage amount. So first, we'll shoot someone. As you can see, it does a pretty good chunk of damage, but it's not super fantastic. But I do this, and all of a sudden now I have these 4 ghosties, and now I can, look at that. Took more damage, more enemies were hit. It's fairly obvious they don't do full damage, but it is also fairly obvious that even 20% damage distributed over 4 allies is 80% additional damage. So, still a rather interesting thing. Now, I'm going to use her third ability here, because, oh, it's actually her second ability, sorry. There. Now, her second ability is called Sleight of Hand. Now, Sleight of Hand allows her to booby trap nearby objects while conjuring an irresistible jewel that bursts with a radial blind when touched in darkness, or a radial explosion in light. Conjure multiple smaller jewels with the help of Hall of Mirrors. So basically, while her first ability is active, she gets multiple jewels with Sleight of Hand. And so the explosion damage, and of course in the light, it does 200 damage, and its radius is 8 meters, its duration is 18 seconds. The radius is 40 meters of the ability itself. So as you can see, it's gone now, which is unfortunate, and I wish I could show you exactly how neat it kind of looks. I might be able to. We'll see if we can do it here. We'll switch over to the Axamati, and we'll just kind of run down here. We'll do our 1. We'll shoot this person repeatedly. We'll Sleight of Hand. And see, it blew up on them. It blinded them because they were close enough, and it also did a small bit of damage as well. So, its Hall of Mirrors plus the Sleight of Hand can be a fairly effective use. And once again, while she's in the light, her Sleight of Hand does a blind and damage. It just does damage. In the darkness, it does a blind. So kind of a cool little, thing. But light and dark in Warframe is a little kind of hard for most people to figure out. But my favorite passive, long-lasting slide and faster acrobatic maneuvers. She moves crazy quick. So, her next ability is Eclipse. So, while spinning in light, Mirage deals heavy damage while the shadows make Mirage difficult to track and even harder to hit. So, what does that mean? It's a 200% base increase to damage while she's in the light, and a 75% base damage reduction in the darkness. So, I'll see what this means. So, again, now, weak 25. Now this, as you can see, is pretty damn disgusting. So Mirage, all Mirages, do incredibly well. I don't know, is there any darkness in this place? I don't think there is. Oh, no. So Mirage does an incredible amount of damage when even unmodded, but she primarily does it through weapons, not through her own skills in by themselves. Now, her fourth ability, which we'll showcase again here, is Prism. So it's an energy field that shoots lasers in all directions, so it's basically like a disco ball of death. You know, it's not Revenant Disco Ball of Death, but it's Mirage's Disco Ball of Death. It does 20 lasers, radius of 30 meters, a duration of 12 seconds, and drains energy. This is a pseudo-channel effect, so it actually gets more efficient with more efficiency and more duration. So we'll kind of show what it looks like here. So the ball will go until you drain out of energy, or until you activate it a second time. As you can see, level 30 enemies are not a threat to it. It can crush through them pretty easily. Fun fact, although I'm not 100% sure about this, I believe her Eclipse actually gives her increased damage on her 4. So we'll take a look at this here. Kind of hard to tell, isn't it? But the damage buff from Eclipse does affect her doppelgangers, making them deal more damage. So 20%, 200% of 20% is 40% a piece, which does make them do a lot more effective in combat. So what most people will run with her will be large range, AoE kind of weapons like shotguns, or even where is it? The shotguns. She'll run her sometimes with bows if they have a lot of multi-shot, or like flamethrowers like the Ignis. I guess they could do the blades like the Mitre or the Panthra. Those are or grenade launchers like the Penta and things like that. The one thing that I do know people run quite often on her are the simulators. Simulator is an interesting weapon, which I will showcase a little bit here. I should probably make sure it's unmodded, otherwise there'll probably be problems. So we're going for a baseline effect. So we'll simulate these guys. Jump down here. So the way the simulator works is you fire a ball, and you can hit your middle mouse button to detonate it, dealing some damage and a fairly good AoE. But if you fire multiple of these things, they combine, dealing a small amount of AoE damage, and then once they hit a certain threshold, they become a vortex, which deals constant damage and then explodes, dealing more damage. So even by itself, you can see that the Synod Simulator is pretty strong as a weapon. A lot of people want to get it for Mirage just for how effective it can be. Now, additionally, if I drop in my doppelgangers, I can fire 1 or 2 shots and all of a sudden have the vortexes going everywhere all at once, as you can see. They also pull items into them, which is kind of cool. So as you can see with that, it makes my weapon even stronger. Now, last but not least, I will showcase it with both her Mirage's active and her boost to damage. So we'll do that, and then we'll go... Oops. As you can see, the one unfortunate side effect of this weapon is it does not really gain the benefits of her Eclipse. But it does have a pretty good push and pull. There it is. So yeah, this weapon by itself was considered one of the most powerful weapons to run on Mirage because of just how much fun it is. Now, of course, Mirage's technical signature weapons are the Akzani, which, if you think about this, lots of bullets, lots of fast. So, that being aside, we've kind of seen of all of Mirage's abilities. So what would Mirage be able to take out by herself unmodified? you get around level 60 enemies, and that's pretty much her limitations. Not because she's weak, and not because she doesn't have the ability or capacity to actually do it. It's just because this is really the most she can do. And of course, the best thing for her is using her Disco Ball of Doom, combined with her rapid-fire weapons and doppelgangers to just totally decimate enemies. So, by herself, level 60 enemies are kind of her limitation, but not because she can't go higher, but because that's the safest she can fight on without any real risk to herself. So, a very powerful warframe, and actually fairly easy to get early on. Now, when you play with Mirage, building her is a little tricky. Again, Mirage Prime, I did not put any format into her, so this is her standard at Mirage Prime. So, base aura is dash polarity. A lot of people will run her with corrosive projection just so they don't have to worry about armor. Or they'll run her with energy siphon so they can get that extra energy back up, which really, I go corrosive projection every day, if I can handle it. So, with her slots here, Matter Eye, you would of course go with continuity, because continuity is important. You'd also give yourself some intensify. These two for sure, again in an economy build, these two for sure that you'd want to play with, because this gives her more duration for her skills to be long, and then this gives them more power strength, which with Mirage, you're kind of aiming for that healthy balance between incredibly high duration and incredibly high power strength. Efficiency and range are not as important. So if you have Vazarin, which, we do, we have 2 slots for that. You can do Vitality and Steel Fiber, especially in her Mirage Prime variant. She has 150 armor, so, if that goes with the 315, which is a fantastic number. Additionally, again, some people run for the Gladiator set, so they go for Gladiator's Resolve and that, so they can have that additional health and armor, but also get that bonus critical chance multiplier so that they run weapons that are like the Zenith Star or other weapons like that. They have the ability to deal a lot more damage in a small output. So beyond that, you have a Nairmon dash polarity. So a lot of people run with Flow. Flow is a great idea. Natural Talent is also another good idea for her. But if you don't have those two, if you don't have the Gladiator set, run yourself with Vitality and Redirection, or Vitality and Steel Fiber, but make sure you have Vitality on you. In the Dash Polarity, if you don't have some of these special, Natural Talent and Flow, and you should have Flow, grab yourself some Augur Message. If you can, it's going to be super, super useful for you, having that extra duration. Trust me on that. Now, in the Xenaruk, Mirage has, I think she actually has 4 total augments, I have 2 of which I have right now. So the Hall of Malevolence is damage of your doppelgangers is increased by 5% per each time you kill an enemy, up to a maximum of 50%. So her doppelgangers go from doing 20% of her damage to doing 70% of her damage. It's a huge damage increase. It's ridiculous. It's hilarious. It's just phenomenal. Otherwise, she has Eclipse, Total Eclipse. Well, Eclipse is active. Enemies within 5 meters gain 100% of the benefit from Eclipse. The 5-meter radius is improved by your range. So if you're running her for Total Eclipse, which means that she's a buffer, my god. You build her range, build her power strength, and build her for a little bit of duration, and you have one nasty little buffer. She gets up to some pretty high numbers, if I remember correctly, like nearly 500% buff. Combine that with something like a chroma buff, and you have some just absolutely disgusting damage amounts. So this is kind of her super economy build here. Beyond this, you can run things like Equilibrium if you're worried about health. Again, you can throw on Flow if you have the capacity for it. If you really can't think of anything else to do, and you don't have Augur Secrets, and you don't have any more, of the Transient Fortitude, Blind Rage, and grab yourself either Hunter Adrenaline or Rage and throw that on there, and then maybe throw on an additional thing for the Vazarin. So grab yourself the full setup. So Steel Fighter, Redirection, Vitality mixture. Or if you have some of the gladiator ones, maybe run yourself with, giving yourself an extra gladiator resolve, so an extra bit of health to give yourself a little bit more survivability. Or maybe go for the auger, so get some auger items on there to give yourself some more shield capacity and or energy conversion to shields. These are all ways you can build Mirage Prime to be a little bit more flexible, because she really doesn't need to have super high numbers to really be that strong, as you just saw. Now, personally, I run her with this setup, which is not the best setup still, but it's still a good setup. Now, this one gives her 214% strength, 278% duration. Now, of course, I have this one here, the Vazarin. I could do overextended, which would give me more range and give me more power, give me less power strength, however. Or I can do something just kind of thrown in there. Now, for the most part, I want to try to keep the abilities of my warframe to be kind of efficient. So I might even throw a streamline here instead to get that efficiency up just a touch. Because, we need that extra efficiency somewhere. Or I might just take that out completely, go into this one and see if I could do Transient Fortitude, which it doesn't look like I can, so I'd have to change out Natural Talent for that. But once again, these give me alternative options to what most people have the ability to run, and it's quite a benefit for me to have a setup like this. As you can see, I'm using Energy Siphon in this setup. And there's probably better ways to play her, but being built this way makes her pretty strong. So my doppelgangers have a 62-second duration. My Eclipse is a 528% damage buff. So we'll jump in here. And as you can see, not actually doing that much damage, right? Now pull out these guys. Oops. You can see my counter up there starting to go up. Each enemy I kill up to a maximum of 50% bonus will have it. Now, the unfortunate thing is Mirage's doppelgangers are not reactivatable. Or Eclipse is. But Mirage's doppelgangers themselves are not. So once your doppelgangers run out, it resets your timer. Which is fairly unfortunate. Especially considering, remember, these are unmodified weapons. Just to kind of throw that in there. These are unmodified weapons. Oh god, the ammo we go through is insane. It's so heavy. Look at that. Crazy amounts of damage. And again, as I mentioned, I'm only at half its capacity or ability to. So let's regenerate these. As you can see, running her with high fire rate or even just high... Ooh. Wait, I have a weapon? I have a weapon? I didn't think I had a melee weapon. Oh well. So, yeah. Now if I was running her with a weapon that would actually, like if I actually modified the Oxani out, you could see some even more disgusting things happening. So right now, lots of fire rate. Absolutely disgusting amounts of fire rate. But if I gave her something like, oops. If I changed out from the Cyanide Simulator to something a little bit more destructive, say the Czar. Let's see here. Anything interesting that I could possibly do that could make it kind of fun? Buzzlock. Never tried this one actually. So Buzzlock and throw on some Ox Stiletto Prime. And the melee weapon, which a lot of people run with her, is the Zenistar, because of what it can do. And I'll showcase that in a second here. So boop, boop. So simulate, simulate, simulate. Alright, so we have a full arsenal of enemies. So, I'm gonna Buzzlock here. Oh my god! Okay! Oh god, that is actually delightful. Okay. What shot? Oof. Okay, hilariously fun. Alright, So the Oxaletto, as you can see, they instantly just disintegrate. There is no challenge. As you can see, that 50% is now up, and that's not going to shift. So as you can see, by and large, Mirage does a crazy amount of damage. Now, I'll also showcase with this, because it's kind of cool. So most people know if you... Yeah, by the way. As long as your doppelgangers are up and you use that, you can actually pull out numerous blades. Okay, so we'll regenerate our energy, activate that, activate our doppelgangers, pump out a few more enemies here. And we will... Well, first of all, slice this mother fool. Look at that. Oh! Oh, it's so delightful. Boom. So it creates a carpet of death. It's one of the biggest reasons why Mirage is run with this particular weapon. So, that's Mirage in a nutshell. Kind of her playstyle is just running through places as fast as she can, avoiding, dodging, and I'll actually kind of showcase this with some unpaused AI at about 135. Okay, I have to activate this. Make sure that this is active. Okay, these are level 135s. Modified weapons, modified frame. Where's the other guys? I know there's some other ones here. Is that it? Oh. Okay. Thought there was more. Says there's more. Alright. Anyways, so as you can see, Mirage, level 135 enemies, she can burn through them using her Eclipse and the right kind of weapon. Now again, my Oxaletto Prime is just modded for crazy amounts of stupidity. 96% damage with a corrosive proc of 435. Crazy amounts of damage, I know, and it could be even stronger because I could modify it once more and get Augur Pact on there. Get rid of the cold even and put Augur Pact on there. Boop. Ta-da! Anyways, but I don't do that. Why don't I do that? Because it's not as useful as you may think. So, I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching this little, in a nutshell. We will, of course, jump out here, go back to the orbiter, and I will show, I think it's like something messages. It's Strange Messages, I think is the name of it. Something like that. We'll go ahead and look at this quest. I know it's in here somewhere. New Sane, Second Dream, Master of Hidden Messages is the quest for the warframe Mirage. Doing it nets you Mirage, and it is, again, Mirage is one of the most fantastic warframes for people who like to get in there and just deal crazy, insane amounts of damage. That doesn't take time to build up, but she's a one-time boom boom. So she can't really go much beyond, I think it's like rank 200 or level 200 enemies. So be careful about that. Again, if you're fighting enemies like that, you probably aren't playing Mirage. But that's Mirage, where you find her, her abilities. I think Cephalon Suda has her augments.
Do you see anything interesting?
Okay. So she has one other one. Explosive Ledgerman. So ammo and ore pickups are turned into proximity mines that deal 250 damage with a 60% proc chance. That's the other one. I've never really seen people play with this one too much, but it can be kind of fun if you think about it. So, Total Eclipse, Hull Malevolence, and Explosive Ledgerman, those are her 3 augments. There is no one right now for her 4th ability. But if you've enjoyed watching this video, enjoyed watching in a nutshell, the big recap is she's a big powerhouse for weapons, not for her own skills, really. She has a few defensive maneuvers. She is good for high fire rate, high AoE kind of weapons like the flamethrowers or, pistols that can rapid fire. She's acquired through the quest Hidden Messages, which you get through the relay system. Or not the relays, but the junctions. I can't remember which one again. And last but not least, her augments are kind of fun. Most people run her with the Hall of Malevolence mod to give her doppelgangers more damage. So if you've liked this video, please like it. If you love it, subscribe so I can do more content about it. Comment in the comment section if you have anything you want to say, particularly if it's negative or it's criticism, please let me know there too, because I like to be able to improve my videos. But if you have enjoyed watching, I am thankful for you guys to be here today to watch me. I am a little bit scatterbrained. I've only gotten a few hours of sleep. Until next time, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Bye, everybody.